Right now, there is a slow fire burning inside your body. It produces no smoke, no heat, and no physical pain, but it is actively destroying you from the inside out. Scientists call this chronic low-grade inflammation. It is the invisible root shared by heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes, a state where the body cannot turn off its own inflammatory response. This chart, and the data behind it, led the World Health Organization to classify this condition as the single most dangerous threat to human health on the planet. The modern diet accelerates this process. Processed seed oils and refined sugars, and a lack of fiber act as daily fuel for this internal fire. Most people remain unaware that their blood vessels are stiffening and their cells are aging faster than their birthday suggests with every meal they consume. Consider a different path, eating a single fruit every day for 30 days to measurably lower that inflammation and reshape your cholesterol profile. That fruit is the common Haas avocado, and it is likely sitting in your kitchen right now. This protocol is based on peer-reviewed research from Penn State University, which recorded repeatable changes happening at the cellular level. Further research from the University of California confirms that these shifts affect everything from blood chemistry to the gut microbiome. Even the American Heart Association has documented how these specific dietary inclusions lead to measurable physiological improvements. A daily avocado habit is a scientifically validated protocol designed to dismantle the markers of modern disease. The avocado is an evolutionary paradox. It was never meant to exist in the modern world. Evolution designed this fruit for a massive, extinct creature that roamed the earth 13,000 years ago. It was built to be swallowed whole, allowing the animal to carry and deposit the seed miles away. Every other fruit that relied on that extinct megafauna died out. The avocado survived long enough to enter human cultivation, persisting against all biological odds. This prehistoric survival story is why the avocado remains a uniquely dense biological tool, providing an antidote for modern human biology. A medium Haas avocado contains roughly 23 grams of fat. This fat serves as the delivery vehicle for a much larger molecular payload. This schematic shows oleic acid, the primary fat found in avocados. It helps maintain the structural integrity of your cell membranes, protecting them against systemic inflammation. The avocado also delivers 10 grams of dietary fiber. This provides a significant dose of prebiotic fuel that feeds the protective bacteria in your gut. These bioactive compounds include beta-sitosterol, which physically interferes with cholesterol absorption in the gut. The fruit also provides lutein for brain health and glutathione, the body's primary antioxidant used to combat cellular stress. The avocado functions as a biological delivery system, carrying fat-soluble nutrients and anti-inflammatory compounds directly to the systems that need them most. The physiological response begins within hours of the first bite. Your digestive system reacts to the specific fiber profile, which triggers an initial shift in your blood chemistry. Following this, the liver begins to recalibrate how it processes and stores fat. This view inside the intestines shows the gut microbiome. Trillions of bacteria alter their population structure as they respond to the avocado's prebiotic compounds. By the end of 30 days, these microscopic system-by-system shifts result in a measurable change to your metabolic baseline. This biological transition involves specific side effects that can be unexpected. A specific risk connected to avocados requires certain groups of people to approach this daily protocol with caution. To understand these effects, we will now track the hour-by-hour changes occurring within the body. We begin with the first 72 hours, where the most significant metabolic shifts occur. The clock starts the moment you take your first bite. Your teeth break through the smooth, pale green flesh, and your tongue registers the subtle, buttery richness. Before you even swallow, your body has already started reacting. The physical breakdown of the avocado acts as a trigger for a complex series of chemical responses. Enzymes in your saliva, specifically lingual lipase, detect the presence of calorie-dense fat. They initiate the earliest stages of digestion right there in your mouth, signaling to the brain that nutrient-rich energy has arrived. Once you swallow, the avocado enters your stomach, meeting a bath of hydrochloric acid and gastric enzymes. Over the next 90 minutes, the plant fiber begins to absorb water and swell. The fats separate from the plant matrix, and your stomach churns the mixture into a thick, uniform paste called chyme. The avocado is now a chemical payload. It is actively conditioning your digestive environment to capture and retain specific vitamins that would otherwise pass straight through your system. That chyme now enters 20 feet of biological real estate, the small intestine. The walls of this tunnel are coated in millions of tiny, finger-shaped projections called villi, which are themselves covered in even smaller microvilli. To understand the efficiency of this system, look at the surface area. If you were to flatten out all of those microscopic folds and projections, the total surface area of your small intestine would expand to cover an entire tennis court. As the avocado paste passes over the surface, oleic acid is pulled through the intestinal wall. Your body packages these fats into transport vehicles known as chylomicrons. These fat-carrying particles follow a specific route. They bypass your liver entirely on their initial pass, merging into your lymphatic system, then your bloodstream. This vertical flow diagram illustrates a biological challenge. Fat-soluble vitamins, specifically E, K, and the carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin, cannot be absorbed by your body on their own. Without a fat source present, these molecules drop straight through you. When you add avocado to the same meal, its fats intersect those vitamins. Research from Ohio State University shows that this interaction allows your body to capture 400% more carotenoids than it would without the avocado's presence. By hour 3, the avocado has altered the outcome of your entire meal. It has made the nutrients in everything you ate alongside it accessible to your cells. By the end of the first day, your system has begun processing the avocado's potassium payload. This mineral helps your kidneys flush out excess sodium to maintain healthy blood pressure. A single avocado delivers roughly 15% of the potassium an average adult needs daily. Simultaneously, the specific ratio of fat, fiber, and low sugar triggers the gut to release satiety signaling peptides, specifically cholecystokinin and glucagon-like peptide 1. This diagram shows the signaling pathway in action. On the left, the gut releases these molecules. They travel up the neural pathways to trigger the specific markers in the brain that define your perception of being full. A study in the journal Nutrients measured this shift. People who ate half an avocado with lunch reported 26% greater satisfaction and a 28% lower desire to eat over the next 5 hours. As the journey reaches day 2, the steady supply of circulating oleic acid reaches the liver. The liver responds by adjusting its lipoprotein machinery. It begins to gradually shift the balance between low-density lipoprotein, or bad cholesterol, and high-density lipoprotein, the good cholesterol. Within 48 hours, the avocado has influenced both the brain's hunger signals and the liver's cholesterol management systems. At hour 72, the journey enters the large intestine. 10 grams of avocado fiber have arrived here, mostly undigested. This fiber serves as the primary food source for beneficial bacteria, like bifidobacterium. In this abstract view, you can see how these microbial populations begin to multiply when provided with this specific blend of soluble and insoluble fiber. As these bacteria ferment the fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids, specifically butyrate. Butyrate is the primary fuel source for the cells that line your colon. It strengthens the gut barrier and has been shown to reduce intestinal inflammation. This 72-hour mark is where long-term changes begin. This diagram shows the result of a 12-week study from the University of Illinois. On the right, the consistent intake of avocado transformed the gut into a dense, highly diverse web of interconnected microbes. By day 3, the avocado group showed a higher abundance of these fiber-fermenting bacteria and a lower concentration of bile acids, setting a healthier baseline for the entire digestive tract. This 3-day window illustrates that eating an avocado is more than a single digestive event. It is the start of a multi-day process that recalibrates your hormones, your liver function, and the very composition of your microbiome. By the end of the first week of daily avocado consumption, the changes inside your body have moved out of the digestive tract and into your circulation. We slip past the rough outer skin of the fruit and enter the flowing environment of the human bloodstream. This flowchart details a major Journal of the American Heart Association study. 45 adults were assigned 3 diets: lower fat, and moderate fat plus 1 daily avocado. The avocado group's LDL cholesterol dropped by 13.5 milligrams per deciliter, a rapid, meaningful clinical reduction. The total drop is secondary to the change in particle type. Cholesterol comes in different physical forms. The larger, fluffier LDL particles cause relatively little harm. The acute danger lies in small, dense LDL particles. These dense particles are hazardous because their tiny size allows them to embed themselves directly into the walls of your arteries. Once lodged inside that soft tissue, they trigger the swelling and plaque buildup that eventually leads to heart attacks and strokes. The avocado selectively targets these exact particles. The fruit executes this through several concurrent mechanisms. First, a plant compound called beta-sitosterol competes directly with cholesterol for absorption in your gut, ensuring less enters your bloodstream. Next, oleic acid prompts your liver to shift its lipoprotein production toward a healthier profile. Simultaneously, soluble fiber binds to bile acids in the intestine. This forces your liver to pull existing cholesterol straight out of your blood to manufacture new bile. Every day you consume the fruit, you launch a targeted, three-pronged assault that clears the most immediate cardiovascular threats from your circulatory system. Moving into week 2, the biological cascade deepens. The microbes in your gut have now increased their production of short-chain fatty acids, primarily butyrate. This butyrate enters your bloodstream, traveling first to the liver to help regulate fat metabolism. The butyrate does not stop there. It travels up to the brain, crossing the blood-brain barrier. Emerging research indicates its presence there supports the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF acts as a fertilizer for neurons. By week 2, it begins supporting the growth of new cells and helps strengthen the connections between existing ones, providing the biological foundation required for improved learning and memory retention. While this internal chemistry shifts, physical changes begin migrating outward, reaching the surface lipid barrier of your skin. The skin's structural integrity relies on specific nutrients delivered from within. The avocado provides vitamin E to shield cells from oxidative damage, while its vitamin C is used to synthesize the structural protein collagen. Meanwhile, monounsaturated fats maintain the skin's thin protective oil layer, locking in moisture. A study in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology measured these benefits over 8 weeks, finding significantly improved skin elasticity and firmness compared to a control group. While the peak results take 2 months to manifest, the underlying synthesis of collagen and moisture retention is active within these initial weeks. These specific internal chemical shifts rebuild the body's external structural integrity, often more effectively than expensive topical serums applied from the outside. By week 3, you hit a physiological milestone that is immediately obvious in daily life, a steady baseline of physical energy. This is a sustained alertness, distinct from the jittery spikes and subsequent afternoon crashes associated with caffeine or sugar. This graph plots why that stability occurs. While simple sugars cause a rapid blood glucose spike, the avocado's combination of healthy fat, fiber, and low glycemic carbohydrates produces a slow, even release of fuel into your cells. To understand why this fuel is so efficient, we have to look at your mitochondria. These are the tiny power plants inside your cells, responsible for producing ATP, the universal energy currency of life. Monounsaturated fats are a preferred fuel source for mitochondria. They burn much more cleanly than the damaged, processed seed oils shown on the right, which force the cellular engine to sputter while producing significant oxidative waste. Lasting stamina relies on the biological quality of the fuel delivered to these cellular power plants. At the day 30 milestone, your body has integrated a new set of baseline metrics. Looking at this full-body dashboard, cascading metrics are visible. Inflammation markers like C-reactive protein decline. HDL cholesterol is higher. The gut microbiome establishes beneficial bacteria, and the brain accumulates lutein, a nutrient associated with faster mental processing. Have you ever made a single, seemingly minor change to your diet and noticed a physical shift you did not expect, like better sleep or clearer skin? Let us know in the comments. Small dietary variables frequently yield unexpected physiological results. However, avocados are not a universal health solution. For certain people, they are highly problematic. There are specific demographics who suffer real side effects and should avoid this fruit entirely. There is also the strange evolutionary paradox surrounding the avocado survival, a botanical mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Understanding these side effects and the fruit's evolutionary history is a prerequisite before making it a daily habit. Those answers are next. Most conversations about avocados focus entirely on their nutritional benefits, but a complete picture has to start with the side effects, because this fruit is a concentrated biological load. A single medium Haas avocado holds roughly 240 calories, or about 1,000 kilojoules. If you eat one every day on top of your normal meals without making any other adjustments, that caloric surplus adds up. Mathematically, it translates to roughly 2 pounds or 1 kilogram of weight gain per month. This diagram illustrates what happens when avocados hit a sensitive digestive system. Avocados contain polyols, short-chain carbohydrates that belong to the FODMAP group. As these molecules reach gut bacteria, they undergo rapid fermentation. In people with irritable bowel syndrome, this causes an immediate volume expansion, leading to bloating and cramping. But with a half portion, the reduced volume allows bacteria to adapt efficiently over several weeks, avoiding expansion. The avocado demands careful integration. It requires strategic dietary substitution and a gradual period of physiological adaptation rather than blind consumption. There is also an allergy connection that often goes unnoticed, known as latex fruit syndrome. Look closely at the raw sap bleeding from this natural rubber tree. The proteins found in this sap are structurally similar to the proteins found inside avocados, bananas, and kiwis. If you have a known sensitivity to latex, your body may mount an allergic response. For individuals taking blood-thinning medications, avocados present a different variable. They contain meaningful amounts of vitamin K, a nutrient that directly drives the blood clotting process. Inconsistent intake can disrupt how well those medications work. The high potassium content requires similar caution for those with kidney disease. Healthy kidneys filter excess potassium efficiently, but compromised kidneys struggle to keep pace with the dose of full avocado provides. The resources the avocado demands extend to the environment itself, as seen in the deeply cracked, dry earth of modern agricultural centers. Growing a single avocado requires approximately 70 liters, or 18.5 gallons, of water. In drought-prone regions of Mexico and South America, large-scale commercial avocado farming depletes local water tables, placing strain on surrounding communities and ecosystems. Whether it is taxing your internal digestive organs or draining global water tables, this fruit demands high biological and environmental resources. Which prompts a deeper question. Why did a plant evolve to be so resource-heavy in the first place? The biological reality is that the animal this fruit evolved to feed went extinct 13,000 years ago. By all normal ecological rules, the avocado should have disappeared right alongside it. This takes us back to the Pleistocene epoch in the Americas. These ancient forests were populated by megafauna, including giant elephant relatives called gomphotheres. The scale of these target consumers was staggering. This is the skeletal structure of a giant ground sloth, a creature that stood over 12 feet, or roughly 3.5 meters tall. You see those proportions again in the massive dome-like armored shell of the glyptodont. These plated herbivores were the size of a modern small car. These enormous animals executed the avocado's ancient reproductive strategy. They possessed the physical size to swallow the massive avocado pit entirely whole, carry it in their digestive tracts for miles, and eventually deposit the seed in a pile of natural fertilizer. The fat and calorie density of the avocado was a biological bribe. It was an evolutionary reward calibrated to attract the largest animals on the continent into acting as long-distance couriers for its heavy offspring. The nutritional profile you see today is an ancient, high-stakes biological contract designed to move large seeds across a prehistoric landscape. Then, roughly 13,000 years ago, a rapidly shifting climate combined with the arrival of human hunters wiped the megafauna from the map. With those giant creatures gone, the avocado lost its only seed dispersal mechanism. No surviving bird, small mammal, or wild animal is physically capable of swallowing and transporting a pit of that size. As seen in this recreation, without its ancient partners, the tree faced a grim biological fate. it dropped its heavy fruit into its own shadow. The rotting fruit lay untouched, and any resulting seedlings quickly starved, losing the competition with their parent tree for sunlight, water, and soil. Roughly 5,000 years ago, humans in Mesoamerica intercepted this decline. They recognized the fruit's nutritional density, gathered it, and began intentionally cultivating trees along trade routes. Early human agriculture stepped in where the giant ground sloths left off. They rescued a doomed evolutionary ghost and transformed it into a surviving global crop. The modern commercial avocado relies on a narrow genetic thread. Almost the entire global supply traces its lineage back to one single genetic mutation that occurred in the 1920s. This historical image captures early 20th century California agricultural cultivation. In this era, a male terrier named Rudolf Haas planted one specific mother tree that produced a uniquely creamy and flavorful fruit. Look at these endless crates stretching down the modern orchard row. Every single identical green fruit here, and roughly 80. As the foods interact, fat-soluble nutrient particles from your other food sources bond directly with the avocado's lipid molecules, allowing them to cross the intestinal barrier and be fully absorbed. As we continue watching the lipid exchange, the most critical behavioral rule becomes clear. The avocado's lipids must actively replace lower-quality processed fats in your diet. Adding an avocado on top of an already high-fat, high-calorie meal negates the metabolic benefit. Daily consumption, practiced with precision and consistency, functions as a sustained metabolic intervention.